Hey guys, NESComplex here. On this first part of my Portland Retro Gaming Expo coverage, we're going to be talking about games, of course, as well as a rendezvous with Destiny at Ground Kontrol barcade, and ShadyJay will regale us with a tale of aliens. So I left sunny Southern California about 9 o'clock and took a beautiful 3-hour flight to Portland. Portland has an excellent public transportation system, so I took the train from the airport down to the hotel, the Red Lion Hotel, which was catty-corner to the convention center, and let me tell you, the experience all the way around was already 1,000 times better than it was in Vegas. So once I got settled in at the hotel, I texted 8-Bit Eric. We were supposed to be sharing our hotel room, so I wanted to see where he was and what he was up to. And he was downtown in Maine, downtown Portland. They were hunting for games. He was with a lot of the guys from RetroWare TV. And so I hopped on the train and I met up with him and Jay.
You say 250s? That's not bad.
And we did a little game chasing down there, looking at record stores and thrift stores, trying to find any games. Of course, there was no luck at all. So after exploring downtown Portland for a while, we took the train back over to the convention center. We wanted to see how things were shaping up there. And since RetroWare TV had a booth and a panel there, and because of my affiliation with YouTube and Gamester81.com, we were allowed to go in just to see how things were shaping up. Now, the show floor was massive, way bigger than what we saw in Vegas. It was almost like a warehouse, and just massive expanses of games everywhere, in every direction. There was an arcade on one side, a snack bar, all kinds of retro systems being set up. Vendors were just putting out their stock. They were covering it up, not letting us see too much, of course. So a little bit later that evening, we were getting hungry, and so 8-Bit Eric and we met up with John, Gamester81, and we went to a pizza place. We were supposed to meet Jason Heine. This is going to be the first time I met him. And so we were supposed to get together at a pizza place called Escape from New York Pizza.
What's up? We're in Escape from New York. We're gonna eat some pizza. We got a bunch of games. I walked a lot, so I could eat a lot today.
Now Jason Heine's from Portland, so he knows the area, and this pizza place was an excellent choice. But better than the pizza was just hanging out and laughing and just spending time with the guys. So we went to this place in downtown Portland called Ground Kontrol, which was another barcade. Upstairs there were all kinds of pinball machines and arcade games, and yes, I said upstairs. It's a big place. Downstairs there were tons of other arcade machines, classic games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, Sunset Riders, Star Wars, Pac-Man Versus, Tron, the list goes on and on. But we also got a lot of time to talk. You know, everyone was there. All the guys from RetroWare TV showed up. Metal Jesus was there. Jason Heine, Gamester, 8-Bit Eric. I finally met Arcade Impossible, Greg. It was just a beautiful time to chat and talk and, you know, watch 8-Bit Eric search the arcade machines for game money.
Game money. Game money.
So after playing some games and sitting around for a while, having a few drinks, ShadyJay decided to tell us a story. So you've heard of the X-Files, but have you heard of the J-Files?
scenario is pretty absurd and ludicrous. But it was 1992-ish. What's so funny? I ain't even got to the punchline yet. It's not a joke. It's not a joke, actually. They're not. Aliens are no laughing matter. It was about 1992. We're in Arlington, right? Texas. And me and my brothers, this is where people can be like, oh, what the f ever, but I swear I'm in video games. This is a true story. Me and my brothers were trick-or-treating. It was Halloween night, okay? And we're walking down the road. It's over by Parker and Cooper. And my little brother Tim's like, you know where that is, right? My little brother Tim's like, yo, what's that? And we look up and it's a flying saucer like clear as with the windows and everything around it. It wasn't like this little light floating around. No, it's clear. And it kind of creeped us out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. True story. No, I swear, like, I'll quit my life on it.
I have no reason to doubt him.
Segue in which Jay looks at a straw. End of part 1. Beginning of part 2.
Hey guys, NESComplex here, and on this second part of my Portland Retro Gaming Expo coverage, we'll be talking about tons and tons of games, as well as panels from the all-gen gamers and retroware TV guys. There was a concert, pranks, vomit, and somebody seduced me with a donut. After a lovely breakfast at Denny's in which we met some cosplayers,
I don't know, jump or something. Doing?
we went over to the show, and the first thing I noticed was a massive line. It went from the doors, along the floor, up the stairs, out and around. This was crazy. So when we finally got in though, it was amazing. Games everywhere. And you know, after going to Las Vegas and being impressed with that, I have to say that Portland is probably my gaming expo of choice in the future, because I've never seen this many games in one spot ever in my life. And just like any convention, people were there for different reasons. Some people were there just to simply make a profit. There were stores that brought their stock to the show. Some people were there to unload stock, to get rid of things, maybe to get rid of their own collections. They're moving on and they're not interested anymore. I talked to a few people who actually bought up collections just so they would have a wide variety of stuff at the show. And I saw more things there in person that I'd never seen before than I ever have in my life. If I had brought enough money, I could have almost completed my NES collection.
You gotta jump start him.
Power him up.
Oh wow, connected to your phone. See, like an iPod.
So after doing some shopping for a while, it was time for a few of the panels. And the first one up was the All Gen Gamers panel, and they recorded this as an episode. And I really loved the fact that they gave out prizes to some of the people in the audience to ask questions. It was funny, at one point they gave out Final Fantasy 1, and then after that everyone wanted to ask questions because they didn't know what the prizes might possibly be. It was great. I also want to say sorry to Jason Heine because I didn't quite understand what he was doing. He bought a Game Boy player and he only spent $1 on it, and he told me that on the show floor, but during the panel he's like, I bought this thing and I didn't know what he was saying, and I blurted out how much he spent, and I feel like a jerk for it to this day. It's one of those weird regret things. And after the All Gen Gamers panel, we went across the way and the Retroware TV guys were having a panel. Rue, Pat the NES Punk, and the Game Chasers. They answered a lot of questions.
I don't know. I don't know.
They played some Smash Brothers. It was an all-around good time and great to see them talk and answer some questions.
Did you smell like Teen Spirit?
No, it was Dove powder.
That night we went to the Ash Street Saloon where Jason Heine's band Rex Soul was going to be playing. And I have to say I was pleasantly surprised by their music. The band was tight. You know, some of their songs were driving and punchy. Others were melodic with really clever lyrics. But I really was impressed with the vocals and, of course, the drumming. Now after the show, I went around the corner because there's this place that everyone had been talking about. I'd heard about it on the Food Network. I'd seen several people in Portland who were enjoying this food, and I just had to try it. So I waited in the long line. Yes, there was a line at midnight to get this. It was donuts from a place called Voodoo Donuts. Now, they're most known for just having some strange donut combinations. The most famous is probably the maple bar with bacon on it, but they also had donuts that tasted like Peeps, and donuts that were like a bowl of cereal, and donuts that were Oreo cookie and peanut butter. It was excellent, strange, variety. So I bought a box, and it was $22 for a dozen donuts. So Arcade Impossible, Gamester, and his wife, as well as Metal Jesus and his wife, we all sat down at a table. We split the donuts, we cut them all up so we could all just taste them and try them. And there were some interesting donuts, pretty cool stuff.
I feel bad.
Why?
They're so beautiful. I feel like we're just watching this.
Now, one thing I learned that night is that drinks plus voodoo donuts equals vomit. And so I rushed back to the hotel and I unloaded. And wow, that was a crazy night. And then came the night where I got pranked. I have my suspicions. My guess is that it's probably, I don't know, Billy or Jay or Eric or a combination of them. Because, well, here's Eric's bed. Just for a comparison, here's Eric's bed. But then, mine seems a little shorter than I remember it. So, I'm thinking that maybe they tampered with my bed. Now, it's just a hunch. Let me see. I wonder if there's any evidence out the window. What? Well, there it is. Guess that's how hoteling goes. Okay, at least I don't think they mess with the games. Well, that's okay, Eric. I used my security bit to switch the boards in your NES cartridges. So 4 or 5 of them are now in different cartridges, and I guess you're gonna have to play them all to find out which ones. So Eric, who had the last laugh?
I have something to try to know about. Doesn't look like there's that many people here this morning, but it's still kind of early. And this guy's recording me, recording myself.
Look, I wish I could have done something more clever, or, if I'd been smart, I would have just slept in Eric's bed instead. But look, I was not feeling great, so I just wanted to go to sleep. So I fixed the bed and went to sleep.
This is NWC's Poor Man's Edition.
All right. Woo.